So actually a couple of people asked me about the countersink screws, how to do them and what's the correct way to do them. And I actually wanted to show you something. I have a deck here that I drilled some extra holes in. So if you want to drill extra holes, you need this one, a 5mm wood drill bit. This is the one you need for the holes. And this lines up perfectly. Now the question is, when you want to put in a countersink screw, we want it to be flat so that we don't notice that it's in there. And there were a couple of suggestions on how to do that, and one is just press them in, and that's the first one we're going to do. We're going to put this in here. Works perfectly, as you can see, but it is way up there. So let's just take a nut and take our skate tool. This one in here, this one up here. This is actually the wrong skate tool for this job. I want to have this one for a little bit more leverage. And let's just screw that in. So, as you can see, nothing is happening right now. I don't feel any resistance. Now we're getting resistance in there, and I'm just gonna press that in there. If I give it enough force, it's still not really that flat. More force in there. More force. Yeah. And as you can see, this one is perfectly flat. So this method will work. Let's just mark it. This one is with force. Now, there are a couple of other methods. You can just, for example, take one of these washers, 5mm in a diameter, and just put it in here. Take another nut, go like this, and this one is really tight, and there's a lot of area around the screw. So the risk of over tightening this is pretty minimal. But of course, this is very protruding, so it's not that comfortable to stand on. If you're not standing on the screw anyway, it really doesn't matter. But for, let's say, a bolt that we want to stand on, this is not optimal. Then we got our next option, which is just using a drill bit. This is, I'm not sure if we have it here, a 7mm bit. It's about the size of the head of the screw. So when I just use my drill, you can just use anything you want there, fix it, and let's just enlarge in this hole by a little. This was actually way too much, but when you put in our screw right now, you can see that it is almost flush. Well, no, this is actually shit. This is not working out well. The 7 is too large. I messed that up. It was actually too tiny. Let's go with the 8. This is of course not the recommended method, but I still want to show it because I've seen it. Okay. Now we have it a little larger. And this one, this is fitting better. Now let's just press that in again. Yeah, this is looking actually fine. Yeah. When you take a look at this, let's just move those splinters here. So far, this is the cleanest one. There's still a little bit of protrusion. This is of course not even in the game, and this is looking good. But for the last and best option, we actually have our sinking bit in here. This is just a standard. The size of the head doesn't really matter since you're just sinking it a little, but let me just show you how this one will work. Of course, we also have to mark this one. Washer, big drill, and in here we have the right one. Same for this, and let's get to work. Just that easy. We insert this like this, only to realize that we need to drill a little bit deeper. A little bit more force and we're good. Perfect. Now you will see that this is the one that sits flush right from the beginning. And when we now use the bolt and fix it, and as you can see, this one is actually the perfect one.
Just to illustrate this further, when you use a button head screw, you have a lot of surface the force can distribute to. So it is the tightest method, but you will feel the bolt. Using countersink screws, you can achieve a perfectly flat surface, but risk damaging the board. The forces when using it without a countersunk hole will push all the wood aside, but this will also happen when you tighten them too much. This most likely won't cause any issues, and your deck won't break, but it can cause cosmetical issues, and eventually even functional ones. But as you see, it is working, so you have to decide on that. I hope this gives you an overview of how you want to mount your screws. I hope you liked it, and if yes, check out the channel. I got tons of videos on similar topics. And yeah, bye!